So for this tutorial you are going to need your yarn. I have just got some DK here, your corresponding yarn hook. I've got a Clover Amore, my favourite hook in the whole world, and some scissors. Now, as I said, this stitch is absolutely brilliant for beginners. I'm organised today and I have got my yarn ready. So what we want to do to start off is we're going to begin with a slip knot. If you don't know how to do a slip knot, I shall link my how to crochet tutorials in the cards section, the playlist from choosing your yarn and hook through to the basic stitches. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to chain in multiples of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if you want to pause the video now, I'm just going to do 16 for this sample piece. And pause the video and just come back when your chain is as long as you need for your piece of work. So I have chained 16 for my sample piece. A good tip is if you do chain quite tight, you can always go up a hook size. So this is a 4, so if I was quite a tight crocheter, I would use a 5 to do my chain, and then once I've completed my chain, I would just start using the correct size hook for the yarn. So once you've chained your amount in multiples of 2, you want to just add 1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a double crochet or single crochet if you're in the US from the second chain from the hook. So we never count this one on our hook. This is number 1 and this is number 2. So we're just going to go into here and just do a double crochet or single if you're in the US. Then we're going to skip a stitch, so skip the next chain space, and then into the next chain space we're going to do 2 double crochets or 2 singles if you are in the US. So 2 both into that same chain space. Then we're going to skip a space, and then we're going to do another 2 doubles or singles into that very next space. So 1, and then go back down into that same chain space, and 2, and then skip a space, and then we are going to do another 2 double crochets into the next space, and we're just going to continue doing that all the way till we get near the end. So if you want to pause the video now and come back to me when you're sort of 3 chain spaces from the end of your work, because your work might be a different size to mine. So if you pause the video now and just do skip a chain space and do 2 doubles or 2 singles if you're in the US into the next space, skip a space, and then 2 stitches into the next space all the way until you get near to the end of your piece of work. So I am now just coming to my second to last stitch, so I'm just going to do 2 doubles into this stitch, and you should find that you have one stitch left right at the very end, just there, and we're just going to do one double or single if you are in the US into that very last stitch. Then you want to chain one, and then we are going to turn. So now for round 2, we're just going to do one double or single in the US into the very first stitch, so it's the very bottom of your chain 1. It'll keep your edges lovely and straight. Then skip one stitch, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets or single if you are in the US. Then we're going to skip a stitch, and then we're going to do 2 doubles, and then we're going to skip a stitch, and then we're going to do 2 doubles. And then we're going to skip a stitch and do 2 doubles. Make sure you are going through both of those stitches, those 2 loops. Then skip a stitch and 2 doubles. I told you this stitch is really, really simple. I love it. It is brilliant for beginners. And skip a stitch, and 2 doubles, and skip a stitch and 2 doubles, and then the very last stitch we get to, we're just going to do 1 double. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work, and then we're just going to repeat that again. So every row is the same from now on. So we're just going to do a 1 double into the base of that chain 1 into that very first stitch, skip a stitch, and then 2 doubles, skip a stitch and 2 doubles, and then that is the grit stitch. So when you get to the end, just remember in that very last space just to do a 1 double crochet or 1 single if you're in the US, and chain 1 and turn. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It is a really simple, easy stitch for beginners, and it looks lovely when it's finished. Don't forget you can find us on Instagram. Also, you can find me on my blog. We're also on Snapchat and also on Twitter. I will leave all the information down below so you can find us. And don't forget to check out our merchandise store. All the money is going to charity. Again, I will leave the link below. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks to everybody that comments. I do try to answer every single comment, as they all really make me smile, so thank you very much. And I shall see you next time for another crochet tutorial.